All right, everyone, welcome back for another episode of Carnivore Trades. Today is Monday, January 3rd, 2022. Starting off the new year right, two winners taken today with the members. If you want to get on that action, come join me on Patreon. Link is right here in the corner. It will be moving to www.carnivoretrades.com as soon as February 1st. Services will be moving over there. It's only $5 a month. You can easily pay with the probably a year worth of the service with one trade, honestly. But in any case, market's up here today, getting a nice bid. First of the month money flow, so that is typical. You had a nice gap up. They faded that pretty quickly. Had some pretty good volatility right here in the morning. Rallied back, got to that 200, pulled back, and then just floating kind of higher here as the volume died out. A little bit of a dump here. About 10 minutes ago. There's about 5 minutes left in the trading day here. Now market's just pulling back off the highs a little bit. If Apple and Tesla were flat today, this market would probably be down about 1%. Let's take a look here. Tesla up 13%. And so that's just really helping out the market there. Apple, same thing, 2.3%, which is a big move for Apple. Really a stock of that size, which is now a $3 trillion company, or at least it was for about 10 minutes here. Got up to that 183 handle, just briefly pulling back, and now just kind of sitting here. Another big story of the day, look at yields here, TBT, up 4.5%. Let's take a look at the TYX, the 30-year. So the 30-year, excuse me, that's TY. 30-year here, up 5.8%, flirting with this trend line. So it's probably going to have to pull back a little bit and consolidate, but I do expect yields to break out. Take a look at this power bar here on the 10-year. Same kind of deal. If we pull it back, we can go back all the way here to really 2019, now 2 years ago. This is kind of your big cup and handle. You can make a case it's an inverse head and shoulders, whatever you want to call it. But when this breaks, it's going to put pressure on a lot of things, tech being one of them. But tech is holding up right now, and that is because of, again, 3 or 4 stocks. But even there was weakness in other tech areas today. For instance, cloud software, IGV here, down over 1%. Adobe, down 0.5%. Oracle was down pretty big at one point, but did rally back, hit that 200 moving average, was very oversold. Actually considered this for a possible long at one point. I wanted to see it flush out a little bit more, but getting a bid now off of that 200 moving average. You see ServiceNow down 3%. Cloudflare down over 4% here. Let's take a look at Netflix. Netflix down 1%. Salesforce was down earlier. Did rally back nicely though. But you get an idea. Even Microsoft down 0.6% today, and Google was down earlier, but now scratching back to the flat line. So really, it's just Apple, Amazon having a nice day. Apple, Amazon, Nvidia, AMD, and of course Tesla really just propping this market up. But there's weakness really everywhere else. You can see the IWM here in the corner of my screen. Russell 2000 with yields pushing higher, the Russell should be breaking out of this range. And, it looked like it wanted to in the morning, and they faded that right down. It, did get a little bit of a float into the afternoon session here, but, we'll see what it does tomorrow, but struggling with that 50 MA for right now. But if this rolls over, it's not going to be good for the market here, especially if yields are advancing. You want to see the Russell continue higher with the higher yield, as the Russell is made up of a lot of bank stocks as well as energy stocks. So, a higher yield environment is good for the Russell 2000, and right now it is not showing leadership. Moving over to the DIA here, Dow Jones. It's hanging in there, up 0.5%. I do think the Dow is the strongest of the 4 major indices right now, and that will continue for probably at least the first half of 2021. You guys know I'm not very fond of tech right now, and I think that the weakness in tech will continue. Although for now, semiconductors are holding up. They're up 2% here. Did get a little pop, although we talked about this last week. It did close below this inside bar low, so that is a major negative here for the semiconductors. Even though that you are in you're in the upper percentile of this thrust here, and it looks like a nice pullback pattern. I never like it when you have a failed inside bar. So I'd be very careful with the semis right now, and I also think cloud software is talking to us as well, putting in a series of lower highs here on the daily, and again potentially a inside bar setup here on the weekly. So mixed bag here, but I'm not fond of tech. Let's take a look here at financials. Via the XLF. Market's about to close, by the way. Peek over the spider. So they're popping this up here into the close. Let's take a look. So there's the closing bell. Yeah, they tried to pop it into the close. We'll check back in on that later. XLF scratching out a gain, 1.2% today. Obviously, with the higher yield, that is helping financial stocks. Broker dealers up decently today, up 0.75%. But, again, did lose that inside bar on Friday's close. And, getting a nice pop, but this is nothing crazy, did come way off the highs as well. So not the best look here. We talked about the fact that financials are looking a little bit weaker with higher yields is not a good thing. And, of course, we have to continue to monitor that. Big winner on the day, though, was Citigroup. Up 4.5% here, was up more than that at one point. So nice pop. This was oversold and probably tax law selling. And then you had a little bit of a bullish pattern going into the year. Combine that with a higher yield, and of course, Citigroup's going to pop. So that makes sense there. Goldman up 3 1/3. Morgan Stanley 2.1. Bank of America 3.8. JP Morgan 2%. You get the idea. Financials are a little bit higher here. KBE. Nice move, 2%. KRE was a little bit weaker, though. Did come nicely off the highs. Still scratched out almost 2% there. But again, we have to watch for financials. Showing weakness with a higher yield is not a good sign. Another good sector today, though, was Visa and Mastercard. Look at this power bar on Mastercard. That's a big move for Mastercard there. It's going to come into a wall of resistance at this red bar, though. So just bear that in mind. But look at this broadening pattern here on Mastercard. Just amazing volatility for a stock with a pretty low beta. Anyways, let's move over here to energy. XLE, nice day. Finished at the highs of the day. Nice pop there. Did get up. And it looks like it filled this gap here or just got very close to it. I do think it's going to run into a little, probably going to stall out here around 57, 58 in the near term. But for right now, XLE is holding up. XOP, a nice day as well, up just under 5%. Probably will stall out right at these pivots here. 103, got that 50-day moving average as well. And the OIH, which you guys know I'm a little bit less fond of, still having a nice day, up almost 7%. Again, this will stall out right in this range here. You got this red bar high, 200 moving average. These moving averages are minor-ish, but this 205 handle is going to be tough for the OIH to get through. Let's look at actual spot crude here, up 1%. A reasonable pop. It was down earlier, but a nice little test candle here. So maybe crude wants to, move up over the next week or so. It seems that crude is moving higher with yields, although it is lagging a little bit. So that's something to keep an eye on. The more this consolidates here, I know I told you guys that 78, 78.50 would be resistance, but if this can consolidate longer, it will make that resistance minor, and then it can probably push through and get up to maybe 80, 80.62. There's a gap here, so that would be your upside there. But as of right now, it's still going to have to consolidate a little bit more if it wants to get through that. Nat gas. So nat gas, nice little day here, 3% move, but it is still inside of this red bar. If it gets above 396.6, then maybe it wants to trade higher, but I think there's one more dip in nat gas, and I already have the buy levels worked out on that. Let's look at the Dow Transports really fast. This is definitely a weaker sector today, down 1% here. You had CSX down 1.3, Norfolk Southern down, so rails lower, FedEx flattish, and UPS flattish as well. The one area that was good was the jets, so go figure. The jets having a nice pop today. This could also be a little bit of a January effect. Tax loss selling from some of those beaten down airline stocks. But, nice little pop here, and that did help the transport, at least stop the bleeding in the transports a little bit. Dollar index. Nice pop today, obviously, with the higher yield. It helps the dollar right now. That's kind of in the correlation. You guys know my stance on the dollar index. It's going up to 99, and I love this bullish pattern here. Was hoping it would get a little bit below this 50 MA so that I could get a buy entry, but it doesn't look like it wants to get down there now. Probably figure a lot of people were looking at that, and sometimes when you have an obvious level, it just doesn't get there because the market makers know that's the level everyone's looking at. But anyways, dollar's nice day. Obviously, that means bad for gold. It tried to get up here. I thought it would at least test 1840, but big reversal here on gold. So let's extend this trend line. It looks like it wants to head there. If it gets through that, it's not looking good. You're going to have some pivots down here at 1720. And then obviously your ultimate level will be at this double bottom there on gold if that were to happen. Silver, same thing, pulling back off the 50 MA. It tried to break out last week, but there just wasn't a mature enough pattern. A little bit of a pullback here with some good volume. So silver a little bit on the weaker side. Same thing with platinum, although it did come way off the lows. I'll give platinum. Yeah, this might be a nice test candle here on platinum. So if this can continue sideways, it might actually still have a chance to advance. To be honest, but that's a pretty big test candle there on platinum. Was down much early, a lot more earlier, and palladium finishing at the lows here. But there is a little bit of short-term support right in this area here. Nothing really to do with palladium at the current time. Copper, on the other hand, again, the stronger metal, kind of like platinum. Nice little test candle. It did hold this inside bar low. You held these moving averages. So we'll give copper the upside bias for now. The weekly pattern is still pretty good here for a possible advance, but it needs to get through 451 spot 11. So copper just kind of hanging in there at the current time. Let's flip over here and talk about Bitcoin. Give me 1 second. There we go. Sorry about that. Yeah, so Bitcoin, I noticed this today. We have this move down here, and you've just been in this range here, but take a look at every other crypto here. So obviously this is, move down. You had this failed bull flag, move down, and now you're just going sideways. Ethereum, same thing. This is looking like a bearish flag. Dogecoin, bear flag. Litecoin, XRP, Solana, Cardano, Shiba. This Shiba is actually starting to break down now. So I'm not liking crypto right now. This is looking like bearish chop. The last couple of weeks has been bearish chop here on Bitcoin specifically and all of these cryptos, but now putting in an even smaller sort of flag pattern here. And if this trend line goes and it can't hold 40 to 42,000, this is probably headed down to 32. So somewhere right in this range here. So I'm not liking crypto right now at the moment, but yeah, it's holding up for now, but not looking good here across the board. In any case, just going to wrap it up here. Yeah, spiders can probably trade up to, maybe they can make a new all-time high. It could possibly get up to this upper trend line here. But ultimately, this trend line has been resistance here. We'll see what happens towards the end of the week. I am not in love with tech, though. I think your max upside is in this 410 to 412 range. In any case, you guys take care. Come check me out on Patreon or via my new website, carnivoretrades.com. Leave me a like, subscribe if you like the content. In any case, you guys have a great rest of your night. Take care, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.